and Wheel, located in Corona, New York, 11368. We are officially live once again here at True to New York Sports Studios, and we finally got Boogie and Mr. Steele back here with us to actually talk about sports because, Boogie couldn't make it for 2 weeks, so therefore Steele couldn't be surrounded by three other guys the other 2 weeks, and so now we got all discombobulated, but we are back. So, Steele, what was your excuse, brother? Why?
First of all, I was in contract negotiations because I haven't been getting my pay for the last couple of weeks. So I had to make sure.
I haven't gotten paid in 5 years. So
Okay.
let's continue.
I had to talk to management, and things got rectified, so I'm back.
All right, that's fair. All right, well, welcome back to the show, Boogie. Welcome back to the show too. Hello, Lonnie. Brothers, Chet, Billy. What's going on? How you guys like your brackets so far?
Hi,
Lonnie.
I can say that.
What's
Yeah, I
up,
agree.
James?
I mean, I just want to give a shout out to Lucas for the first time in 3 weeks. He didn't fuck the intro up. I mean, that's a pretty big.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
But you want to know who did, though? The guy that was snorting dirt in the middle of the thing.
Yeah.
That was Mr. Steele.
Mr. Steele over there.
We don't condone drug use on the show. So, you can keep your habits to yourself. At least
He's in contract negotiation. He's wearing a jet hat. He don't know what the hell.
He doesn't know what the hell he's doing, yeah. But all right, guys, let's get right into it. We are going into some baseball talk right now, guys. Guys, lots of transactions happening right now. Mets making some moves. Yankees not really making some moves. We got Josh Donaldson, as we spoke about last week. We got IFK also, and we got rid of Gary Sanchez. But this past week, all we really did was sign Anthony Rizzo to a 2-year deal. So nothing really too crazy from the Yankees. Yeah, I represent the New York Yankees, so yes, we signed.
Oh, they did pick up some. They did pick up some pitching, didn't they? If I'm not mistaken.
Did we?
Didn't they?
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, but no.
Didn't?
No.
Okay. My fault.
No. Mets picked up some pitching.
Yes.
Mets.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you
right.
can't jump on the show and then start giving us false information. I put you on the top row. I thought you was going to act right, and now you're giving us false info.
Lou, let me ask you a question. I heard this rumor. I'm not sure if it's true. Billy can answer this for me. They were saying I heard rumors that Rizzo is unvaccinated. Was that true?
There's been nothing. They have no word out on who is or who isn't.
Well, Judge isn't. We know that already.
Judge isn't.
He's one of the people that had COVID on the Yankees last year.
Right, I remember that.
Judge, by everything Judge has said in the media so far this spring, it leads everyone to believe he's not. I mean, apparently, I saw something today that they're working on. MLB is working on something, trying to get this straightened out. They're offering to have the players dress in the parking lot that aren't vaccinated, so they don't ever go in the clubhouse. It's a whole mess.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I heard the same thing, but didn't last year wasn't the Yankees one of the teams, quote unquote, fully vaccinated with the Johnson & Johnson when everything first started? It wasn't. Didn't they say the Yankees were fully vaccinated?
No, they said they were one of the higher percentage teams that
percentage,
were
not fully.
vaccinated. And from last year, at this time last year, there were 14 Mets unvaccinated.
Yeah.
We don't know if some of those are guys that are no longer with the team anymore or not, but there were 14 members of the Mets roster that ended last season that were not vaccinated. So this is going to be interesting, guys, because it's not only home games, it's Toronto, and that's meaningful for the Yankees. So you're talking right now about guys that are ineligible to play 90 games right now.
Right. Yeah.
How come they have this type of mandate when these guys are playing outside? Like, why?
It don't make no sense.
Makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Because the clubhouse and there's so many inside areas in the stadium. And now, the big
and people are grouped up.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see how this works out over the next. There's going to be a lot of noise on this over the next 2 weeks. That you can guarantee.
I think they do it because when guys hit home runs, they gather at the home plate a lot. So I think that's terrible. That might.
No, I honestly think that this whole mandate is going to actually be passed. Was that a joke, Boogie?
That was definitely a joke.
I was like, what the hell is? I'm like, I'm going to let him go because he's my co-host, but that was awful. If that was actually like what you were saying. No, but I do think
screen for that one, please. That's
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to.
Put yourself in time out.
Yeah, hold on. Even if that was a joke, you get removed out of that one. So I still think that the mandate will be lifted. I think that the mandate will be lifted come April 7th. I really do. I don't see it.
There's going to be. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to deal with. You got to talk about a bunch of people in New York, non-athletes that lost their jobs over this. You have the entire net situation with Kyrie Irving. There's a lot. I mean, and this mayor's in a no-win situation with this. He really is. I mean, this isn't even his law, and I don't know what he's going to do. There's no right answer here. Like that's the crazy thing. Because no matter what he does, he's going to have a lot of pissed off people.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. And speaking of baseball stuff, let's get right into the transactions, folks. So I'm going to talk about the New York Yankees, what they have done so far. The reason why, if you guys noticed that my name is the Yankees Stink, is because I think they could have done more this offseason than just getting Josh Donaldson. There was rumors that the Yankees were going after Clayton Kershaw. He went back to L.A. There was rumors that the Yankees might get Trevor Story. He signed with the Red Sox. You know, I just feel like and the other day, Hal Steinbrenner was interviewed, and he said that he's not in a money match with the Mets, who, if you've noticed, the Mets have spent a ton of money and have gotten a ton of players to come to the New York Mets because he is serious about winning. And honestly, this New York Yankee team right now, on paper, they look like they're either finishing third or fourth in the division. And I hate to say that because Toronto and the Rays, Toronto, the Rays, and the Red Sox could all be fighting for that division first place.
So, Lou, you're a Yankee fan, right?
Yes.
When the Yankees had one of the most highest, probably was the highest payroll in baseball, a couple of years ago, did they win a championship?
No, they didn't. No.
They got beat by who? They got beat by everybody. But Tampa was like the lowest, right? So payroll really doesn't make a difference in today's baseball. What makes a difference is how they produce on the field, who's healthy during the season, who's able to play 100 and God knows how many games. We can say whatever we want on right now. When guys start getting hurt, those guys is getting hundreds of $1 million start getting hurt, and it starts affecting the game. We're going to be on the same show talking about XYZ is getting $100 million and he's not even on the field. So, I mean, what difference does it make how much people get paid at this point?
I will give you 3 words that win in baseball today. Pitching, pitching, and pitching.
Actually, 1 word 3 times, but go ahead.
Period. What have the Yankees have done to improve their pitching? Now you lost Herman for a long period of time, which is going to kill him.
When's the last time he pitched? Let's talk about that.
They had him right. They had him penciled in as a number 3 starter this year.
Before he beat up his wife.
Exactly. Like 3 years ago? Like he hasn't – he's even factor in my mind right now.
He pitched a little bit.
Like I said, they've got one pitcher and a ton of question marks in the pitching staff.
Is everyone done here?
Yes.
Just stop. The New York Yankees have a $250 million payroll. The New York Yankees are not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. They have 2 $300 million plus contracts on their payroll. They have Aaron Judge making $18 million a year. The New York Yankees spend money. Just because they're not doing it at every single position and signing everybody under the sun like everybody wants them to, everybody's going nuts saying the Yankees are cheap, the Yankees are this, the Yankees are that. It's nonsense. The Yankees are going to do what they need to do to win, and they always have. The Yankees have put themselves right now in an excellent spot for flexibility. You know what? If the Yankees feel they need a catcher during the year, they have nothing on their roster that's going to stop them if a good catcher becomes available to go out and improve that position. I heard rumors the other day that the Yankees were talking to the Cubs about Wilson Contreras. Yes. If that comes up again during the year, nothing's going to stop the Yankees from doing that.
What do they have to offer, though?
The Yankees there is stuff in the minor league system that the Yankees could. Wilson Contreras isn't going to cost you much.
Right. But like I said,
I still believe before all is said and done, I think the Yankees are going to end up with one of the 2 pitchers from Oakland before the season starts. And with the arbitration numbers going in today, I think you're going to see those guys dealt probably this week because of the fact that Oakland doesn't want that money on their payroll. They've gotten rid of a ton of it so far, and they're going to keep doing so. They're not going to keep these guys. The Reds also, Luis Castillo is another name to watch. The New York Yankees are going to be there. And anybody that thinks the Boston Red Sox are better than the Yankees, pull up the Red Sox starting pitching staff and tell me that's a pitching staff you want. Nathan Eovaldi is their opening day starting pitcher. That's all I'm going to say. But you got to look at right there.
But when Sale comes back, they're still going to. I mean, he's still going to be one of the more dominant pitchers.
Okay. So Nathan Eovaldi's their number 2 starter.
Yeah, I mean, who would you rather have as 1-2? Would you rather who? I mean, our number 2 technically right now is
Severino.
Severino, right? But who knows how he's going to be right now?
Who knows? Severino, you said was better than DeGrom. Remember?
Hold on. You said the possibility of their upsides. I'm taking Severino 10 times out of 10.
I'm about to say
his upside is better than Eovaldi's.
I agree with Billy.
Speaking
100%.
of arbitration, Pete Alonso signed a 1-year deal.
The Yankees are also on the verge of signing. They're making an offer within the next 24 hours to Judge on a long-term deal. That's going to be 3 huge contracts on the Yankee payroll. Mm-hmm. Find me another team in baseball that has 3 huge contracts on their payroll.
The Dodgers.
Dodgers, definitely.
Oh,
you got Mookie Betts.
If you count Trevor Bauer,
Clay
for all
Shaw.
intents and purposes, if they were really counting, they would have never signed Freeman.
Yeah, but Clay Shaw signed a big deal, right?
Yeah. Kershaw signed a 1-year
deal.
He signed a 1-year deal.
But how much though?
That's not a huge contract.
It's huge money deals, like $300 million contract.
That's what I'm saying. It was a big money deal for this year.
I'm talking about the big money, money, hundreds of millions of dollars. The Mets don't have, for everything the Mets have done, the Mets have done great this offseason. The Mets don't have $300 million plus contracts on their payroll.
Well, you have Lindor.
Scherzer.
Lindor, right?
Scherzer, and DeGrom is.
Well, Scherzer wasn't a $300 million. Scherzer was
it's contracts. He's saying, big contracts.
It's still a big Scherzer and Lindor are huge contracts.
Yes, those are big contracts. There's not
up to 10 years and Scherzer for 5.
The Yankees have just as many, if not more, than all the teams everybody's praising.
But Billy, as being in the AL East, you're not still worried about the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays?
Absolutely. The Toronto Blue Jays did everything great. I'm still looking at it and say, you know what? I'll take my chances with my offense against Ryu and Kevin Guzman.
Yeah.
Steele, are you raising your hand or are you stretching?
I'll stretch it.
So you're trying to show your biceps?
The Toronto Blue Jays offense is going to be phenomenal, and they've made great moves. Does the Toronto
and they still have Barrios? They picked up from Minnesota.
What happened? What happened with Barrios? Didn't Toronto pick up Barrios?
Yeah, Jose Barrios is on. Yes, they have a good team. Their starting staff probably better than the Yankees right now. Does that starting staff strike fear into me? No.
All right, that's fair. But Boogie, what about you, Boogie? Tell me who have you seen in this off season so far that has would you consider winning in the baseball trade deadline in the baseball transactions?
I say my Mets.
Gee, you really went out on a limb.
Yeah, you killed it there, Boogie. Let me tell you, you went okay.
Mets. So, because look, I'm like for instance, like the Braves, for instance, like that's the team we're chasing, right? They lost they didn't lose Freeman. They actually said, "Yo, Freeman, get out of here." You know what I'm saying? So to who they start with, the Dodgers, right? So that's another big name that the Dodgers got. You can't sleep on the Dodgers at all. I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
These guys are stacked. You know what I'm saying? But the Braves are the young nucleus that the Braves got because they're getting
they got Matt Olson, but
they're getting Acuna back. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So that's why I guess they felt like, and then they made the trade with Oakland, so they felt like they don't need Freeman anymore. So their pitching is good. You know what I mean? So, but I just think that they had a late run at the end of the season. The Mets were slumping because they was in first place all season, and they gave it up. So I figured now we got better coaching, we got better leadership, better veterans in the clubhouse. So I feel like we're a better ball club than them. I feel like that first place wasn't a mistake. Like I feel like that first place is going to happen now, and we're going to maintain it this year. That's my personal opinion.
I picked the Mets as my winner of the offseason. I did, and it's not for any player they signed. It's because of Buck Showalter. The Mets needed to bring in someone. The Mets needed someone to run the field. They needed a field general, and that's what they finally brought in. It's a lost art in baseball, and a lot of teams suffer because they don't have them.
Mhm.
No one from the front office, no 25-year-old with a Yale degree in analytics is calling Buck Showalter on the dugout phone and telling him who to put in the lineup because he'll shove the phone up their ass. Like, it's not going to happen. Buck Showalter is running the field. Scherzer was a great signing for the Mets, and it's mainly because of the one thing, the elephant in the room that no Met fan wants to talk about. He makes your rotation better, especially if DeGrom isn't healthy.
Right.
I have a question for you though, Billy.
Mhm.
Now, they was interviewing Scherzer, I think yesterday or earlier today, and they was asking him who does he feel comfortable throwing to, right? So they had Nito. He said Nito he's been throwing to quite often, and he said that Nito understands him. But then they asked him, they said, so do you want him to be your catcher? He said, no, I don't play those games. He said, basically, I can work with anybody. And then we already know that DeGrom loves pitching to Nito. So is that going to potentially be like a problem? Like if
I
Nito
don't
is
find
that
it
good
to
of
be.
a
I
defensive
don't find
pitcher?
it to be a problem because, to be honest, it's only going to be a problem if McCann has a bounce back season offensively. That's the only way it's going to be a problem. But those things usually work themselves out, and your top pitchers usually get what they want in those situations. I mean, look at Garrett Cole has been pitching to Higgy since he joined the Yankees. Those are the types of situations that always just have a way of working themselves out. I mean, one thing you got to say about the Mets too, no team in the National League benefits more with the addition of the DH than the New York Mets.
Yes.
Now that they'll have to give up
The
Dom
Dodgers
Smith
too. Dodgers
and
too.
JD Davis.
I think the Mets more than the Dodgers. I mean, Cano is a hitter. You don't know. He could have the bounce back. The one thing I do credit Steve Cohen with is you're not going to see Robinson Cano hitting 140 in July in that lineup because he won't be there. Steve Cohen will eat the money like Boogie's eating Doritos right now, and he'll be gone. Dom Smith, realistically, the Mets lineup
Seriously, what
is
flavor?
Boogie, what flavor?
I'll let you know when you start ordering me Burger King like you did your husband.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Time out. Hold on. Time out. Did we
I'm
just go to
sorry,
commercial or
I'm sorry.
something?
Where is it?
Yeah,
you said?
Billy was in the middle of a point, and now we're to the left. What's going on? What's
Yeah,
going
Bill.
on?
But the
the
Chet's
Mets
Michael.
the best defensive alignment for the Mets is Dom Smith at first base and Pete Alonso is your DH. That's the reality. But you also got guys like JD Davis that can get bats at DH. It helps the Mets.
McNeil.
Marte.
Well, McNeil's going to play. He's going to play the
second
field.
base. Yeah.
He's going to play second base. But then you got Starling Marte. He's probably going to be a leadoff hitter. You got Mark Connor.
Connor, right? Yeah.
That lineup.
So you think he's going to be the leadoff hitter? I thought
Yeah.
Nimmo was going to be the leadoff hitter.
They're going to be one
that.
and two. I've seen a lot of different variations with both of them hitting first and second. I like it better, honestly, with Marte first because I like breaking up the righties, breaking up Alonso and Marte with Nimmo. Especially now with the 3-batter rule, you always give somebody something to think about.
How do you feel about Escobar?
I like solid defender. Solid defender to bat. You're looking at him to be a 6-7 hitter in the lineup. I think it's a good move. Good from everything I've always heard about him. Good clubhouse guy.
He was good with the Twins too.
Yeah,
I thought he was a good
Well,
player.
is he a better hitter than JD Davis though? Obviously he's better defensively, but is he a better hitter? Because JD seems to have the power, and he when he was healthy, he was hitting for a decent average as well.
I'm gonna tell you right now though. We went through the Mets positives. I'm gonna give you two things that could come back to bite the Mets in the ass. And the first is the loss of Noah Syndergaard. Because if Noah Syndergaard's healthy and they let him go over a $2.5 million difference, rumors are he wanted to leave regardless. But you have major health questions with Jacob deGrom, Carrasco, and Taijuan Walker, all of them having issues staying healthy. You could be in a position where, losing Syndergaard, a healthy Syndergaard, could be a big blow to that team. And right now, Chase and Shreve is your lefty in the bullpen. That's a problem.
Yeah, they'll find something. Here's a team I wanted to bring up outside of New York that I think was underrated with their moves this year is Seattle.
Oh, absolutely.
Seattle picked up Robbie Ray, was the Cy Young Award winner. You picked up Winkler. Yeah, you picked up a lot of guys.
Where's Frankie? I know.
Suarez.
And they almost picked up Chris Bryant, but the Rockies picked up Chris Bryant, which we'll talk about too.
Somebody explain that move.
I was going to talk about that after.
Why give up Story and sign Chris Bryant?
I think Seattle's a dangerous team this year.
Seattle is, but the big thing with Seattle too is they need a lot of the young players they've acquired. I know Boogie doesn't want to hear the name Jared Kelenic, but they need
fantasy list.
They need these guys. They need these guys to
play. What about Julio Rodriguez?
Yeah.
He's an up-and-comer too, who's supposed to finally start this year
Justin
too.
Sheffield too.
But Kelenic was striking out a lot when he was getting
he had a very good September.
But remember, he went back. He came up. He went back down, batting 160 with 2 homers. Then he came back in September, and he actually had a really good September.
Yeah, he had a solid couple of weeks to end the season. I mean, Seattle has the potential, and in that division, they definitely have the ability to make some noise.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, you either give the show some content or go to the gym. Rattling ice with a Superman cup does nothing for the show while Billy's trying to make a point here.
All right, so let's bring up the Chris Bryant thing.
This is one more time, and you're off the top row.
Yeah, one more shot at the top row. Let's
bring up the Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant's weird. It's weird.
So just real quick before Billy, Steele, did you have any team that you saw that made some baseball transactions that you want to talk about?
I'm a Yankee fan. Only pay attention to the Yankees.
All right, I'm sorry I asked. All right, so go into this Colorado deal. I do not understand how you could take somebody that you brought up in Trevor Story, and you try to replace him with, because you know that you're not signing Trevor Story now, with Chris Bryant to be like your face of your franchise at the moment. And to be honest with you guys, I spoke to a few people. I forgot who I spoke to. But if I honestly see, if Colorado does not have a good first half of the year, expect Chris Bryant to be out of Colorado with that contract.
It's gonna be my prediction on that is if they don't do something fast, it's gonna be by the trading deadline next year at the latest. They're gonna do the same thing, similar to what they did with Arenado. And they did make a run. They did try to bring Story back.
Yes.
And apparently Story wanted no part of it. That I don't know what they're doing in that organization. They let John Gray walk away for nothing when they could have traded him at the trade deadline last year and got something. Nope, they held on to him, let him walk away for nothing. If they knew Story didn't want to be there and Story wasn't going to re-sign with them, they let Story walk away after this year for nothing. They traded Arenado and then brought the money.
Yeah, and they got 2 other guys that they just signed Ryan McMahon.
They gave Ryan McMahon $60 million.
And then the other guy who I think will be traded before Chris Bryant will be Charlie Blackmon.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Jacob deGrom went 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, and had 5 strikeouts. Amazing debut.
Boogie, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be the best pitcher in baseball, and I don't think anyone's going to debate that. The problem is they have to keep him healthy. And that's realistically,
Chris. They didn't get anything they didn't trade anything. They signed.
They didn't get anything. They didn't even make qualifying offers to these guys to get anything back for them. They got John Gray and Trevor Story left for absolutely nothing.
Right, nothing. And they signed Chris Bryant because Chris Bryant's contract ended with the Cubs, and they traded him to the Giants last year to try to make a World Series run.
I mean, I gotta believe. There had to be some sort of market for Chris Bryant. I don't know if this is just a money grab on his end.
It is a money grab.
That's right. That's what I feel like it is.
Get it around. It is a money grab.
But to be honest with you guys, real quick, Trevor Story had decent numbers in Colorado. My thing is that now that he's playing in Boston, I think those numbers are going to be coming down. I think
Trevor Story is going to be fine. I think
his things are going to go up, Lou.
I don't know about that.
In that lineup where he's going to be batting behind? Oh, my Lord.
Fenway Park isn't exactly Yellowstone, you know.
But do you think Trevor Story's batting 3 or 4 in that lineup? I think Trevor Story's batting 5 or 6. Yeah.
Look at all the opportunities he's going to have in front of him with Devis, Bogarts, and Martinez hitting in front of him. Trevor Story's going to have a chance to put up some really good numbers. They got him at second base, and if Bogarts doesn't re-sign, he'll be playing shortstop again.
Yeah.
The Red Sox made a good move.
I'm not saying that they didn't make a good move. I I would have loved to see Trevor Story in a Yankee uniform, to be quite honest. I think
I get it. Everybody wants to see everybody in a Yankee uniform. But the Yankees are holding a fine line on Volpe and Peraza. They believe in these kids. They trust. Why are you going to go make that commitment and contradict? Because you got one of them's going to play second base. That's the realistic part of it. One of them's getting moved off a shortstop. What are you going to do? You have to. You got to do something. You're going to stand your ground.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just Trevor Story is not like he's 34 years old. He's like 27 years old. Yeah, you could have had him for a while.
Let's just get Correa over with now. If everybody wants to bitch about what the Yankees did.
I didn't want Correa.
I believe that there were
hold on, stop.
Clubhouse.
You didn't want him? I'm sorry. You said you didn't want him, Blue?
I didn't want Correa on the Yankees.
Why not?
Because of 2017.
Because what he said?
Because what he did.
Oh, speaking of that, and I want to bring this up, and I'm not you guys didn't bring it up. I heard they're unsealing the envelope on the Yankees about the Yankees stuff.
Yeah, listen, if they actually did get caught up with all this stuff, they deserve everything
I'll say the same thing. I posted it last night, and I'll say it live. If it was involved, they deserve the punishment that everyone else got.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right, so let's get right into football transactions, guys. Football transactions going on. The New York Giants signed Mr. Running back, Mr. Breda, and and we got a guard. What, you don't like that? You don't like that, Boogie? Why don't you like that?
For what? For what?
What do you mean for what?
For what?
Depth?
Yeah.
For what? Are they planning on giving up on Saquon or something? Like
no.
For what?
Yeah.
Don't we have this
running
young
back
dude
that hasn't played a full season in 3 years?
But don't we have that young dude that's at the running back? I forget his name.
No.
Who are you talking about?
They had some young dude. There's some young dude that they had. I forgot his name though.
We needed a backup running back.
Otis Anderson. It's not 1986 anymore, bro.
I said young guy, not old guy.
I mean, the Giants had no depth at running back. I think it's a good move, and I believe towards the end of the draft, they're going to add more depth to the running back situation. And that's what they got to do. I mean, you have a coach and a general manager who came from a successful team that did not pay big money at the running back position.
That's true.
I mean, going into the playoffs last year, nobody knew who was starting at running back for the Buffalo Bills. Was it Breida? Was it Singletary? Was it Zach Moss? Nobody had any idea.
Right. And the Giants also signed, which I think is a great pickup, in Tyrod Taylor. I think that's a great backup quarterback for the.
And he wants to start.
Yeah.
No, he's coming here. Tyrod Taylor at this point in his career knows his role, and he knows. The best thing about this is conversation.
He said it. He said I'm not automatically here to come off the bench. He said it.
Any quarterback that doesn't say that, you don't want them, man. You don't want a quarterback that's going to sit there and go, I'm here to sit on the bench and hold the clipboard. No, everybody wants to compete.
I'll say this: the Giants are not going to allow DJ to fumble the ball game after game and not throw that guy in the game. So I think he did come to actually potentially be a starter if DJ doesn't show up this year.
Right.
Daniel Jones has to be given a chance. He has to be given a chance with a healthy offense, an NFL decent offensive line. He's got to be given a chance to play, and he hasn't been given one.
Yeah, he hasn't really had it yet. He hasn't really had it yet.
He's had a chance to play, but he hasn't played behind a decent
the closest
offensive line.
Had to it was the second half of his rookie year, when he came in for Eli, which is when he had his most success so far. Was the closest he had to playing with his playmakers and everyone on the field.
Yeah.
All right, so correct me if I'm wrong. This is a contract year for him, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, so this is going to be the year they decided.
This is make or break. This is make or break.
All right.
There's no doubt about it.
Well, what about you, Chet? How do you like these moves from the Giants so far?
Well, the offensive line, they have to definitely, sew up. That's a great sign, I think. Breida, they're all like that. They're all like one a dozen.
What is your opinion on the offensive linemen that they got though? Are these guys scrap heap guys, or are these guys going to?
No, the one guy they got from last year was ranked 21st guard. In the
NFL. The ones that they picked up this
Mark
year.
Lewinsky, I think
they got two guys from Buffalo.
Yeah.
these guys aren't the same type of guy that we got from New England, right?
No.
No. Golinski, a 9-year veteran already of the league.
Yeah.
He is.
And the Giants also signed Ricky Jones, Ricky Seats Jones.
Yep.
Which honestly, I think is a good pickup since we don't have Evan Ingram anymore.
If he stays healthy.
That's the key.
If he stays healthy. The kid's a big body, but he's got to stay healthy. When he played in Washington, he produced a lot.
He did. And he could block. And he could block.
Yes.
So
he can block better than he can catch.
I mean, they've definitely improved themselves, the Giants. They still have more to do. They definitely still have more to do in the draft.
The Giants have gotten better with the limited resources they had to use this offseason because they had no cap space. They're going to get rid of James Bradbury. Mm-hmm. That's going to, whether it's a
draft, I think that's a draft night trade. That's going to
trade or release. That $12.5 million is coming off the books.
Right.
I mean, they signed John Feliciano and Mark Lewinsky.
Right.
Two good offensive upgrades on the offensive line.
Solid offensive lineman. Yep.
They're going to draft a right tackle with the 5th or the 7th pick.
Right.
Hopefully, if they do that and they get that kid, the Cincinnati cornerback Sauce in the first round, if they come out with a right tackle and Sauce in the first round, I think the Giants did damn good for themselves.
Yes.
This draft is deep in edge rusher.
Yep.
They grab an edge rusher in the 2nd round.
Well, you lost one of your big ones when the guy in Michigan hurt himself in pro day.
Yep.
And that's what I was hoping the Giants would go after.
Grab an edge. You can grab an edge in the 2nd round easily. This draft is very deep in them.
Deep.
The Giants have a chance. And you know what? I wouldn't be shocked now with all the quarterback movement that I'm sure we're going to get into in a minute. If the Giants don't get an offer to trade one of those top 2 picks, trade down, and collect some more draft capital.
I can see it. I can see it.
As long as they do the right thing with it. That's what I'm. You know, what I'm saying?
I think these guys. I
like what they did with Tony. Like that was a great pick.
Yeah,
we got to stop worrying about the past.
And listen, Tony's got to stay healthy though too.
Yep,
Tony
does, but he's fantastic.
The biggest thing about the Giants wide receivers, they all have one thing in common: they need to stay on the field.
Yes.
Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Kadarius Toney, all need to stay on the field.
Well,
and this draft,
I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about the financial impact. I'm talking about the fact we need him to play.
Yeah. And
you want to judge a quarterback, you want to judge all these things. If you're not giving, if the guy doesn't have the weapons to throw to, what do you expect him to do?
And this draft is very deep in wide receiver this year, very deep. So the Giants can go pick up one in the 3rd and 4th round. You know that could stick and play a lot for them.
Right.
I mean, people just don't get it. You gotta have your guys. You gotta have your guys healthy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like me sending Boogie to lead tomorrow night with Steele and Lou and expecting them to do anything.
Are you kidding me? I am the best bowler out of all of you guys. It's not even close. It's not.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm not even going to comment on that until we get on. Until we get on the lanes, there's nothing to talk about.
It's not even close.
Let's talk about my New York Jets finally getting
C.J. Uzomah.
They got Reed. They picked up 2 tight ends. I think they're doing a good job trying to get Zach some weapons. No, we'll see what happens. Now, don't talk much about it because it's not that flashy of a pickup, but they're doing something for the kid.
You did good starting the Cincinnati receiver. That's good.
Yeah, and they're going to pick up a receiver in the draft.
But you did terrible not signing Jamison Crowder.
Why?
They got to move on.
You got to
move on.
Buffalo.
No,
the Jets made great moves.
Chet, I'm going to disagree with you there, Chet. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Billy. I just want to say real quick, Crowder can't stay on the field either, though. He can't stay on the field, and you got Moore coming back.
Yeah, they re-signed Braxton Berrios.
Don't get me wrong. Moore's great, okay? But like I said, who else are you going to put on the field with him?
In that slot receiver position, the Jets have the weapons to move on. The receiver the Jets need is a number 1.
Right,
because Corey Davis is not a number 1 in my opinion.
No. Corey Davis is a very good number 2. He's not a number 1.
They didn't number 1.
So let me ask Steele.
Zach Wilson a chance though.
If you're looking for number 1 Steele, what would you do? Would you go out and try to trade one draft night or draft one in the first round?
I'm taking one in the first round. Yep. I'm taking one in the first round. No question.
And you're trusting your quarterback, right?
And I'm going to take a page out of Lou's book. I'm going to trust my quarterback.
Just remember, you have Joe Flacco as your backup. Remember that.
Again, I don't mind Joe as a backup. I think Joe should have been a backup last year. I think that would have been more of a beneficial move for the Jets.
I agree 110%. I don't see I think that is a lost art in the NFL right now of having the veteran backup quarterbacks to help mentor these young kids. I feel like a lot of places that's just it's lost. It's like the 49ers are on the verge of doing it if they trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Now you're going to put Trey Lance in there, and what are you going to back Trey Lance up with?
A veteran who needs to be signed.
There might not be any left by the time.
Baker Mayfield, baby.
Yeah, speaking
of somebody who made wrong choices in their career,
right? So
ask for a trade and then get picked.
Right. So let's talk about Baker Mayfield real quick, guys, because the story behind that is that 3 years ago he gave players on the Cleveland Browns crap for not staying with the team that they're with, blah blah blah. And now Baker is the one requesting a trade. And where do you guys think Baker Mayfield's actually going to end up? Because the Colts got their quarterback now with Matt Ryan. The Browns have their quarterback now with Deshaun Watson. There's not really many
Falcons
choices
got
left.
their quarterback in Mariota.
I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the guy that kind of defends Baker Mayfield a little bit here.
What?
Because if you look at the situation and look why Baker Mayfield requested a trade, it was because the Browns didn't do right by him. They didn't turn when the Falcons went after Deshaun Watson, they went to Matt Ryan and they said, "Hey, you and your agent can start looking into trades. We are going to make a push for Deshaun Watson. I want you to hear it from me. It's nothing personal. We have a chance to get 11 years younger at quarterback. It's a no-brainer." And Matt Ryan was cool with that. Baker Mayfield found out on the internet that the Cleveland Browns were having a meeting with Deshaun Watson to replace him.
Right. And it's the same thing with Freddie Freeman.
He went out on the field last year with his left arm hanging off the side of his body.
Yeah.
And
But let me ask you a question. When you're Baker Mayfield,
I agree, Billy.
Billy, if you're Baker Mayfield yourself, you're saying to yourself, you don't think Deshaun Watson's better than you? So why wouldn't the team want to upgrade?
If you are Baker Mayfield and you want to stand there in front of a camera and say anyone's better than you, get the hell out of the league.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the attitude a team wants to be. Any starting quarterback, any number one draft pick in the
not on the stand. I said to himself. That's what I'm saying, to himself.
Maybe he is to himself.
Because there's no way he can expect.
I respect the guy that he didn't stand there on camera and say, yeah, he stood there on camera and said, "Yeah, I think I'm better." And that's what you want from
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that he's that mad at the organization for wanting to upgrade.
He's mad at the organization because he went out there, risked his health, risked his career for that organization last year, and they were willing to throw him to the side as soon as the shiny Ferrari was up.
Hold on.
Baker sucks.
No, hold on. We're not gonna sit here and talk about Baker Mayfield like he's some type of saint. First of all,
He's not a saint, but what he did on the field last year, I think he did right, and I don't think they did right by him.
He was ranked like 27th at quarterback rating. He was not good last year. He was borderline terrible.
He didn't throw the ball to Odell, and Odell goes to a winning team and shows what his worth is.
Everybody was pointing the finger.
He got Landry there chilling.
He's
not
going
doing
out
that with
there
Landry
every week and risked his health with his arm. He could have shut it down right there and been like, "Oh, screw you."
You know why he risked his health? He risked his health because he wasn't playing good football.
No, listen, I don't think
he's throwing like this.
I don't think we're
the whole season.
I don't think we're doubting Baker Mayfield's heart and integrity, but I think I'm doubting him as a player. The guy had weapons last year and a solid defense, and he didn't do shit with it.
Nothing.
And
So,
you don't think the team is going to try to upgrade?
His play deserves the criticism. Yes. His dedication and commitment.
No, and I agree with you with that.
Criticism.
I agree
with
you with that.
Dedication and commitment doesn't get you a starting job.
No, but it should have got you the respect of the conversation that the Falcons gave Matt Ryan, and that's where his problem came in.
He can't get the same respect Matt Ryan had because Matt Ryan is a veteran. Mayfield's not a veteran. He's still proving himself.
And he was with the Falcons for 13 years.
He's still proving himself.
Yeah.
Listen,
how are you going to put them in the same boat?
Baker had everything. Baker had two enormous running backs. He had two enormous wide receivers. He had a great O-line, a great defense, and he just couldn't put the pieces together.
Here's where the Cleveland Browns went wrong. They went wrong because if they weren't able to make that move, they wanted Baker Mayfield back in that locker room next year. So you're going to just do this guy dirty like that and then expect him, if it doesn't work out, to just walk in and be like, yeah, I'm back, guys, let's go. No, it doesn't work like that.
That's a professional. That's his job. He's a professional. Anybody's tradable.
You sat Eli down for Geno Smith, and he was a professional and took that and then started the next game.
This will be the one knock you ever hear me say on Eli Manning.
Yeah, and Boogie, you just
Eli Manning refused to go in the game that they benched him in.
Yeah, right. The point I want to make
because he didn't want to keep his streak going just off of a let me come in at the end of the game type thing. He said, "Yo, if I'm gonna end my streak this way, then end my streak. I don't want to. I don't want to have the asterisk. Hey, I didn't start every game, but I played every game. You know what I'm saying?"
And Book, you brought my point up pretty much what I was going to say. The only team that needs a quarterback right now is Seattle.
No, the Panthers do too, but the only way
they don't want him. They already said they're not interested in him.
It's because of the price tag, because they're already paying Sam Darnold $18 million.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Seattle and Cam Newton.
I think if Baker Mayfield gets released, I think he has a chance to start for the Panthers, the Seahawks, or the Texans. I think the Texans shied away from him in the Watson trade because of the $18 million price tag.
Oh, all I know is that if you go to the Houston Texans, that's where you go for your career to die, brother. Like that is a Baker Mayfield goes to Houston. That's Brock. What's that guy's name? Brock
Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler, right? Didn't he get signed a $60 million deal?
And basically, now I want to bring up a different subject. Speaking of, you want to kill your careers. Let's talk about Devontae Adams.
I don't think he killed his career.
I don't think he killed his career.
I think he did.
You guys think he killed his career?
No.
He played with Derek Carr in college.
First of all, hold on. How do you? So you're saying Derek Carr is a bad quarterback? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I think he's a good quarterback. So I don't understand.
I didn't say no. I think him in
the division that he went to.
No, this is Chet saying this.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying in the division he got traded to. Okay, that is quarterback you in that division. They are not winning with those quarterbacks in the division. They're not winning anything to start.
And listen, with the Chargers, let me tell you guys something right now. With the Chargers getting Khalil Mack, that Chargers team is looking to.
You have four.
Yeah.
You have four. That whole division is
going to be insane this year. It's going to be insane.
And I love that because they're going to be knocking each other off.
Yeah.
So that means playoff time.
In the AFC, you can legitimately see a double-digit win team in the AFC not make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
You had two 9-win teams. You had two 9-win teams last season not make it. You could very well see a double-digit team not make the playoffs.
Yeah, and back to what I was saying about Devontae, and the problem I have with this, and I've spoken out about it, is it's a combination of three things for me. One is that it's the Green Bay. Most of it's the Green Bay organization, I think. For not respecting him, he's been pretty much your 1A face of the franchise for years. Okay, you wanted to try to give him a long-term contract, you didn't. Then we get to Mr. Selfish himself in Rodgers. Why would you not try to do
really
what
going to
other
do this
quarterbacks have done, like Brady? Take a little pay cut. You want to win.
They offered him more money than the Raiders did. He wanted to leave. The Green Bay Packers offered more money per year.
The problem was, and I'm blaming the organization because the problem is, like I've been bringing up, when they signed when he was registered, the tendered, they are $50 million over the cap.
They still offered him more money. They were going to work it out. He was going to get more money from the Packers than he was the Raiders.
Yeah, the Packers would have done nothing because you'd have to release half your organization then. Because they have so many big money contracts they still have on the books that they have to get him. And they're still, even with him being gone, now they're still $30 million over.
Chet, Devontae Adams did not go to the AFC West worried about if his
What's up, Uncle Vin?
In first place.
Uncle Vin.
And like I said, I don't think they're going to do anything, the Raiders. I think they're going to finish third or fourth in that division easily.
Okay, but you're going to say it's because of the Packers organization that he went to a team you just said was going to finish in third place.
Because the Packers could have taken care of this a couple years ago.
He wanted out of Green Bay for his own reasons. I'm sure him and Aaron Rodgers had many conversations about this because we all know Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would have retired 5 minutes after the trade was over if this blindsided him in any way.
Right.
Like I said, this should have been taken care of 2 to 3 years ago.
And
I'll just leave it at that.
Why? How many years left on his original contract? What are we just going to rip up every prima donna's contract and give him a new one because they outplayed it?
If you want to sit there and keep yourself with teams that can win, you need to.
I listen.
So is Green Bay a team that can win?
If they could have done this a couple years
Aaron
ago,
Rodgers can make anybody win, bro.
Aaron Rodgers can win every regular season game in the book. He can't do anything in the playoffs.
Do you
He
think
can make
do you
Steele
think
an
if Rodgers
all-star
didn't,
wide
if Rodgers
receiver?
if Rodgers retired or Rodgers requested the trade, do you think Devontae Adams was staying then when Rodgers' money wasn't even there? No, he was definitely leaving then.
I think the guy was leaving regardless.
okay.
Exactly. This had nothing to do. This had nothing to do with anything. He wanted out. He was offered more money. He just went from first place in his division to possibly fourth in his division, in his new division.
Yeah.
He wasn't worried about winning.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless he really feels that Derek Carr and the Raiders have something going because they have added
I
a few
believe
pieces.
they do. But as easy as they could win that division, they could finish fourth.
Listen, Derek Carr to me is a pretty decent quarterback. I don't see how he's being overlooked at this point, but we'll see.
Knock on wood. Patrick Mahomes goes out in the first game and has what happened to Tom Brady that year and breaks his leg week 1. Yeah. That division's wide open.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and look, name the quarterbacks that are part of that division. Name the quarterbacks that are part of that division. You got Mahomes. You got Russell Wilson.
Mahomes.
You got Justin Herbert, and you got Derek Carr, which is arguably the best 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That could be stuck in one division. It's going to be a sick division. That's all I know. It's going to be sick. But the Chiefs are probably going to end up on top.
I think right now the Raiders are probably the second best team in that division.
No.
I don't think the
Chargers are. With Sim signing Khalil Mack, that just improved them huge.
Yeah,
huge. And you re-signed Mike Williams, which they did. That was big for them too.
There's a lot to the Raiders were the team last year, and they've done nothing. They've only gotten better. So I mean, to me, they got to be given the benefit of the doubt.
Adams improves.
And you hope Josh McDaniels is the real coach.
The Raiders finished in second, made the playoffs last year, and just got the best
with a whole lot of turmoil.
Yeah,
I mean a whole lot.
Lot of turmoil.
I mean, you lose your head coach. You lose one of your best wide receivers.
Now they got a fresh start with a good wide receiver. Come on.
Well, we'll see. Okay.
All right. So let me ask you guys before we go into NCAA talk. Let me ask you guys. We'll ask Steele first since he's the only Jet fan here. Steele, where do you grade your New York Jets so far as grade letter wise of your transactions for this year so far?
I give them a solid C+. They didn't do anything that was astronomical jump off the board, but they made solid upgrades. And the 2 tight end pickups to me was the best thing because I really want to. They got to give that young quarterback somebody to throw to. And I think in this day and age, the NFL, when you got a tight end that can catch the football, you're going to have him be in a good position. So we're going to see. He's in a terrible spot because of the division he plays in. They might be a better team, but it might not show in win-loss record.
April 7th, Uncle Vin. April 7th is the first official game of baseball.
I give the Jets a B. I'll even give them a higher grade than you.
I was actually gonna give the Jets a B+. I think getting Uzomah and getting Conklin are humongous pickups because they're 2 of the best tight ends in the. Listen, Conklin is a little underrated in my opinion because there's so many weapons in Minnesota that Kirk Cousins could throw to. All right, there was and Conklin had a lot of targets and didn't have a lot of missed catches in Minnesota. So. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback, in my opinion, than Zach Wilson, throwing accuracy-wise. But if you get the ball at Conklin, he's going to catch it. And the same thing goes with Uzomah, too. So I think I give the Jets a BB+ right now, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't want to jump off the bridge, but okay, I don't disagree.
There was no way for the Jets to get an A right now because there was no number 1 receiver.
Right. There was no Devontae Adams signing.
They weren't getting Devontae Adams. Calvin Ridley came off the board way too quickly with the suspension. Amari Cooper is not a number 1 on that Jet team because him and Corey Davis are way too similar.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was no number one for them to have right now.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if they come out, I'll be honest with you, if they come out of the draft with a number one, they get an A in the offseason in my book.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. All right, so what about the Giants fans, real quick? What do you guys feel? What do you guys feel about the Giants transaction so far this year? What do you give them a quick letter grade before we go into basketball?
I give it a B plus.
That's what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. Bro.
I like the fact that they, like I said, they're trying to attack the offensive line and stuff, and they're getting their payroll down. That nobody's safe. You know what I'm saying? They not even Daniel Jones is safe, as you can see with the backup quarterback situation.
Right, picked up a quality backup. Right, quality
like
backup.
I said, I just want to see what this coach is gonna do. I want to see what Judge is gonna do. He has to improve.
Yeah, plus you got to remember what's going to happen at camps. Who's going to get released? Who's not? Who'll be available.
I just want to see the improvement in the play.
I agree. I give him a B plus also, and I'm actually this is the first time in a very long time, probably since Eli Manning and Carr were when he was the backup, not Derek Carr, the other Carr that played for the Houston Texans. Where we have two similar quarterbacks that can play off the same playbook and not confuse our players or not work on certain plays because our quarterbacks are so different. I actually like the fact I think Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor are very similar in a lot of ways. So
I think Jarrett Lorenzen was better than all of them.
I mean,
yes.
You can really make the argument for this so far free agency. Nobody's done more with less than the New York Giants.
Yes, very true. I agree. Very, very, very low salaries that they've gotten, and it's improved the team greatly. All right, guys, so let's go right into basketball real quick. We're approaching the last couple of weeks of the season. The New York Knicks are not officially out of playoff contention yet.
Obi Toppin got the start.
Right, Obi Toppin got the start because Julius Randle got fined $40,000 for.
This is about $90,000.
Well, that's not why he didn't start.
Right. Well.
Julius Randle has a quad injury.
Yeah, quad injury, my asshole. So we really don't have to talk a lot about the.
Whoa!
Listen, that went left.
That time,
you know what I'm saying? We're just trying to talk about basketball and Julius Randle. Then all of a sudden, Lou just, he started. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it.
Okay.
Listen,
Julius Randle is hurt.
I know,
his feelings.
Yeah, his feelings got hurt for sure. But let's talk about these Brooklyn Nets. So now Mr. Ben Simmons has a spinal injury. Yeah. Let me tell you guys something real quick. If the 76ers win this championship this year and Ben Simmons doesn't play at all,
they're not winning the chip.
It is going to be probably one of the – obviously the 76ers will win the trade, but like –
well, you can't say that, bro.
This is my question.
You can't say that because
what do you mean you can't say that?
You can't say that because the trade is not just for this year. Because what if he arrives back next year and they become super?
If you win the chip, that's all that matters. If you win the chip, that's all that matters.
Okay, so what if the 76ers don't trade?
Then
no one wins the trade,
knowing there was a risk he would never
win the trade yet.
Yeah. So hold on. This is my question because I'm not a doctor that does physicals. If he had a herniated disc in his back, how did he pass the physical?
Did he do it while he was practicing?
I say that all the time.
According to Steve Nash this morning, it's been known since he was on the Sixers.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's no way the Nets made this trade not knowing that there was a very good chance he may never take the court this year.
That's correct.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. You got to look at it also in this thing because they knew that James Harden wasn't coming back to them. So they might have not wanted to lose him for nothing. So they said, you know what? This is the best trade we can get with the potential for a little bit of long-term success by having Ben Simmons play at least by next year. Because picking up Curry and Drummond is not something to sneeze at.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that filled other needs. That filled the shooter because what's the original shooter that hasn't played yet? Harris hasn't played, so they needed somebody to be a shooter out there. So they got Curry, and Claxton is not doing it for them.
That trade
Griffin is not doing it for them. So now they got a solid defensive center.
It gave them a bench.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so at the end of the day, you got somebody who didn't want to be there, who wasn't coming back, and if they didn't do anything, they would have just lost them for nothing. Why not make that trade, even if Ben Simmons is not?
Exactly. I would have done it.
No, listen.
makes
I understand that, but you don't think that if the 76ers and you can't say the 76ers don't have the capability of winning the championship because they do. They have an MVP candidate in Joel Embiid right now, and James Harden has been playing unbelievable. He's been playing great since he went to Philly. Yeah. So it's hard to say that him, Embiid, and Harris can't make that team win a championship because they totally.
Oh, they absolutely can.
Yeah.
But
so
my stuff is still back with the Nets. I don't understand how this is not a failed trade. So y'all telling me that the Nets knew that Ben had a
herniated disc. Steve Nash said it this morning. The herniated disc was known.
So
he had it since his time in Philly.
So why was that? Why wasn't I just put out there in the beginning? Why all the smoking guns?
Yeah, why all the hype that he's going to be coming back in a few weeks?
It flared up when he started training again to come back. He wasn't sidelined originally with a herniated disc. No. When he started training to come back, it flared up, and he got an epidural. I want to say yesterday, I believe they said it was
yesterday. Yes,
and he has a history of back problems.
But again, the Nets didn't lose this. The Nets make this trade. You know the risk. There is a risk he does not play this year.
Exactly.
According to the reports I heard today, it's a risk that he might not play at all. You know, NBA players that had back problems. Who can you name one that had a successful comeback? Because I can't name one.
Now, when you say successful comeback, like explain, like
look, got Larry Johnson that was with the Suns years ago. He had that back problem, didn't come back. Stevie franchise back problem.
Larry Johnson with the Suns.
Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson. I'm sorry. I was going to say Larry Johnson too with the
Larry Johnson played well with the Knicks.
Even he played decent, but he was never that player again. It was a lot of guys.
If it gets into that, then you could say the Nets got fleeced and they did their organization no favors. But the fact is, right now for this season, they knew the risk that there was a chance. You're not talking about a guy that's only been out 2 weeks. This guy hasn't taken the court in a year and a half.
And
they knew there was a chance.
And you're talking about a guy who's not super athletic. Like his athleticism is not what his game is. His game is defense. His game is his IQ in passing and stuff like that. That don't require a super healthy back. Obviously, you need a healthy back to run up and down the court. But you know what I'm saying? But
he's known as a pretty outstanding defensive player. So he's going to need that lateral movement in order to stay in front of players. I'm not a doctor or anything, but I just know that when you got a back problem as an NBA player, it's very a slim chance you have a successful career afterwards. That's just my opinion.
Just wait and see what happens.
Dude, Larry Bird had a bad back for a lot of his career.
And it killed his career.
It stopped him from dunking, but he became an outstanding shooter.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you guys a quick question before we end the show. Two things going back to the NFL real quick that I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention. Mitch Trubisky going to the Steelers, up or down?
I think it's up.
Up.
Yeah, he can't be worse than what Ben Roethlisberger.
I mean, the Steelers quarterback situation is better than it's been in the last 3 years. You can make the argument.
Yeah,
right. Ben Roethlisberger
hasn't been Ben for quite a few seasons. It wasn't just last year.
And second thing, Christian Kirk getting $84 million from the Jaguars. Up or down?
I don't think anybody think that's good.
No,
let's hear from Steele first because
that organization is in a. I mean, they make the Jets look awesome. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you're paying Christian Kirk honestly number one money when he's probably a better 2, even a better 3, in my opinion, as a wide receiver, and you're paying him number 1 money. Like that's crazy to me. But you know what? They're trying to make. I got to give the Jaguars a little bit of credit because it's not like they didn't improve not getting Christian Kirk. They just overpaid for him.
Yeah. The Jaguars are a better team now, especially offensively, than they were at the end of the season.
According to the reports, that front office, I was just looking at articles today, that front office is terrible. I don't even know how they went under the radar for so long. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I digress.
Oh, yeah. The organization, I mean, if anybody read the Athletics article on Urban Meyer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Didn't even know Aaron Donald's name.
That's bad.
He's an NFL coach, did not know the best defensive player in the NFL's name.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
It sounds like me.
You were an NFL coach.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to ex-Nick J crossover Jamal Crawford for his retirement officially from the NBA.
42-year-old Jamal Crawford.
Yep.
No,
Did he play for the Nets one time? He played for the Nets.
Yeah.
very briefly, yes.
Very brief.
Yeah.
All
He played-
I'm saying, it was one of the players that I cringed when the Knicks let him go. But go ahead.
Right.
I love
what?
Jay Smooth. I cringed when they let him go.
Oh,
I love Jay Smooth.
him and Zach Randolph. I like them on the team.
Man. But
And they
anyway,
had Marbury on that team. That was a
that
fun
was a
team.
decent team.
Yeah,
Decent
back in
team.
2006. But all right, guys, this has officially 8 o'clock. This has been brought to you by 106th Street Tire and Wheel. Get your automotive stuff done at 106th
Hi,
Street
Biggs.
Tire and Wheel.
Hi, Biggs.
Biggs. Thanks for
Thanks
tuning
for watching,
in today.
Biggs.
Thanks for tuning in, Biggs. We're glad that you talked
If you lost
today.
that, you pal.
Yeah, we.
So let me ask you, Lou. Let me ask you before we get off. Did
Pause.
we get our get off the show? Did we get our spam comment?
No.
No.
Today was not brought to you by VOW.
No, not today. I mean, the
Va.
2 days I wasn't here.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
I
we
don't
did.
think we did. We
Yeah.
I think we got it 1 week. I think it was just 2 weeks ago.
or maybe 2 weeks. Oh yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. We didn't get it last week though, Bug.
Right.
Oh man.
Yes,
we
we
gotta
gotta
up our spam.
So you know what? We'll charge them for it. This also brought to you by VOW.va. VOW.va. So
2 weeks ago we had spam. Last week we had Lonnie Harden in the corner.
Yep.
right, yeah, that's very true.
Shout out to Lonnie. I actually got to meet Lonnie in person on Thursday. So shout out to Lonnie.
Shout out to
Yes.
Lonnie. Yeah,
Good peoples.
Lonnie just came to New York for some reason. I don't know
No.
why. But all right, guys.
Well,
if
You
you
well,
guys
guys
hold
don't know she lives in California, guys.
yeah.
But I'm
What?
saying, why are you leaving us out on a limb? Why did you come to New York, bro? I'm trying to figure out.
Oh,
what's
to see
going on.
me.
Oh, well, so why you just gloss over that, huh? You just don't say that.
She lost her mind for a little while.
Yeah, she lost her mind. She made a crazy decision to come see me.
She wanted to hear Lou. She's very attracted to Lou saying all the athletes' names wrong. So she
Right.
just wanted to
Right.
listen
I go.
to him.
I go. Aaron Arnold. She's like, ooh.
Okay, I'm done.
Bradford.
I'm done. You could do
I'm done.
it. No.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Enough.
Next Tuesday, we'll be talking about. Hopefully, we have some more transactions and more sports talk to talk with you guys about. We want to thank you guys again for tuning in with us here at Sports Talk with Lou, Boogie, Billy, Steele, and Chet. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. And that's it.
What?
All right.
Wait a minute. What's happening?